Hi everyone, JJ here with my daily draws for the week of May 16th through May 23rd. This week I'm using the Dreaming Way Tarot by Rome Choi. I've had this deck for roughly 6 months and I'm still kind of getting to know it. I'd say the portraits are a little less emotional than I usually like in my decks, but the illustrations are really beautiful, and because the characters are less distinct, they look kind of similar, and you'll see what I mean once I reveal the cards. It actually makes me focus on the message of the cards a little more intensely. I think I'll do a more in-depth review of this deck later on the channel. So this week started on Saturday, May 16th, and I got the Knight of Pentacles reversed. Ooh. So this Saturday was a pretty good day for me. I have this new job writing this movie, and I've recently made a good amount of money. I mean, I never have enough money, but we'll get to that later. And, you know, I was feeling kind of decadent. I remember I woke up pretty quick that morning. I overslept, and me and my roommate had brunch plans, and I barely had time to do this draw in the morning. I always do my draws in the morning. And I just shuffle, and I tried to, like, focus, and I drew the Knight of Pentacles, and I was like, and it was reversed, and I was like, I don't know what this means, and I'll think about it later. So I just ran out the door, and then I proceeded to spend so much money. Like, I really did not need to spend that much money. Like, there was brunch, we went to a movie, we went shopping. It was, like, ridiculous. So the Knight of Pentacles usually refers to somebody who's lazy, who can't quite get off their butt and do what needs to be done. But I felt like the Knight of Pentacles was me running away on this crazy horse of spending. I mean, I realized halfway through the day how irresponsible I was being, and I was just going like, oh well, I got paid, who cares, when I know I need to save that money for things that are way more important / necessary. So the reverse Knight of Pentacles is me going crazy. So it's total opposite of the normal got it all together kind of Knight of Pentacles when it's upright. You know, I think that of the knights, and I love this illustration especially in this deck, and of all the knights in comparison, because this knight just seems to be going at a really steady pace. He's kind of got it all together. The Knight of Pentacles always reads as extremely prepared to me, like he knows where he's going. They keep it real. But when it's reversed, it means that JJ is having a ridiculous Saturday. So the next day was Sunday, and I got the Six of Swords. This is a semi-traditional interpretation of this card. I'll show you a little closer there. I've read a lot of different interpretations of the Six of Swords, actually. Including ones that say stuff like, people are lying to you, or darkness is invading your life, and I always get really confused by that, because that's never been my interpretation of the Six of Swords. Like, for me, the Six of Swords is about actively escaping a bad situation with help, or helping somebody else escape a bad situation. For me, the imagery of the man in the boat going towards land with, you know, a woman and her child, it might be his family there, says to me that this is about making a positive decision to go towards something better than what you left. I'm just trying to tilt the camera down a little bit. I thought about my own life, and I asked myself if I was really being mature and taking care of things the way that I should be. I mean, do I need to leave my irresponsible spending and my immaturity behind in order to take care of the things that I really love and really want? You know, here personified by my family, quote unquote. Okay. So, Monday. Monday was an incredibly hard day. I got news pretty late the night before that something really terrible happened to a friend of mine. And she didn't want to talk about the details, she just wanted support, so I was sort of forced to sit there and experience all the hurt of what happened without any of the details or any of the knowledge or any of the facts about what was going on. we basically just talked about anything else. I think she just wanted to be distracted, and it was pretty much torture. So the whole week's been really strange because of this. On Monday, I drew the moon. So if you watch these draws, if you watched the last one, I also got the moon last week, but it was reversed, which meant that I was coming out of a time of confusion, and now I feel like I'm right back into it. This particular illustration of the moon is really creepy, just because of how much this figure actually resembles my friend. I don't know. I just felt sick to my stomach when I got this card, because I felt like what the spread was telling me was that I wasn't ever going to exactly know what had happened, or not right now. I feel like this friend is going through such a hard time, and I feel like there's so much I don't understand and I don't know that I feel would help me help her. I don't really know how to accept that I don't have all the answers, and I wish this card had given me some kind of answer, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It's kind of, the mood is kind of an absence of answer, right? It just tells you that you don't know what's going on, that there's something that's hidden from you, and, God, I feel like that just makes you feel more lost, right? I tried to do another reading, kind of something to quantify this, something to clarify what was going on, but halfway through I just realized that I needed to accept this and work through it, and I had to make supporting my friend my number one priority. This is really the first time I've ever had this kind of experience with the moon card, where it's been something that's affected me this much. I feel like it's completely colored my interpretation and my relationship with it. So the next day was Tuesday, and I'm just gonna move over. And I pulled the Two of Swords. So, for me, this card is a lot about, I'll zoom in so you can see it a little better. Right there. For me, this card is a lot about making a choice more difficult for yourself than it should be. Your mind is somehow creating a false choice for itself, or false outcomes of a choice you have to make. I think this card is also a feeling in the dark, just like the moon, just because of the blindfolded imagery that often shows up in Rider-Waite inspired decks. And I obviously felt very in the dark, considering what had happened yesterday, and that had of course carried over. Something I do love about this deck is how all of the suits take place within a certain season. Swords, very specifically, are set in the winter. It gives the whole suit of swords a very cold feeling, and isolated, and the feeling of being trapped in your thoughts, which I feel like the suit of swords is, that theme runs throughout, that you feel isolated, that you feel alone, that you're facing struggles by yourself, except actually for the Six. I feel like the Six is actually a very standout card amongst the whole suit. I knew I was getting trapped in my head about what had happened yesterday, and I was creating all these scenarios and thinking about which was possible and which wasn't, and I was getting trapped in my head entirely. And I felt really powerless, no matter how much I thought about it. I just felt completely powerless, and it's hard sometimes, because I think tarot, we're told there's so much rhetoric around tarot being a tool for empowerment, for finding answers for yourself. And it's difficult to do a reading that leaves you feeling completely powerless. And I know that feelings like that are another facet of human experience that we all have to go through, but You know, there's just so much about all these cards having answers. You know, everyone wants a tarot reading because they want an answer, they want to know. Which I don't know, I feel like this week these cards were just asking me questions, were just presenting me with a reality about myself and asking me to get real with it. On Wednesday, the next day, I pulled the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups made a lot more sense to me in the context of the whole reading. Like, that is the other two cards reveal as well. But at the time, I was thinking about who the Knight of Cups was, because, you know, if I'm the Knight of Pentacles reversed, then who's the Knight of Cups? You know, I'm usually, when two court cards show up in the reading, you're like, oh, very distinctly, one person is you, and another person, and another court card is another person. So I kept looking the whole day for who the Knight of Cups could be, and I was just not coming up with anybody. I was like, what is this? I don't know what I'm doing. But later in the week, it made a lot more sense to me, so I'm gonna move on. You can know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so Thursday's card was the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so we've got another two and another Pentacles suit. That's two right now that we've got of Pentacles. Two of Swords, Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles usually shows up when you've taken on too much. You're having trouble balancing your many commitments. You know, maybe you have a couple of jobs, or I used to get this card a lot when I had a lot of jobs. And I still have a lot of jobs, but you know what's weird is that I do have a lot of jobs. I really don't feel overwhelmed, though, at this particular point in my life. I mean, I did just leave this other job that was pretty overwhelming, and now I feel like, ooh, what's this little red thread? And now I'm feeling pretty okay. So when I looked at the card, I thought pretty literally about balancing, and I thought about balancing my budget. I guess it's not a literal interpretation of balancing, but that is, I thought literally in the fact that he's literally holding two large coins up, and I'm like, I should probably balance my money. And I thought back to earlier in the week when I was just spending, and to be honest, like, it's not that it didn't stop, because I wasn't that crazy, but like, sometimes I realize, like, I'm just buying stuff, and I don't really have the money to just buy stuff, you know. I buy theater tickets, and I buy drinks, and I go out with my friends, and I realize I don't actually even know how much I'm spending per month. I don't have a budget, and that is making me feel trapped. That makes me feel like I don't know what's going on, and I don't have the power to make a good decision. And the whole powerlessness aspect of my whole week caught up with me in a really financially literal way. I mean, this whole lack of knowledge, I mean, really, I feel like the moon is kind of just guiding this whole reading here, just a lack of knowledge making you feel powerless entirely. Look at that crab just completely at her whim. It's insane. So yeah, that was me going, okay, maybe today's the day to think about balancing the budget in a real adult kind of way. And Friday's card, which is today's card, was the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So, another card in the Pentacles suit, and another card that is definitely about resources. And the Seven of Pentacles is about wanting a lot of lovely things, or wanting something to work out, but not knowing how to get there. It's about a lack of direction in terms of getting what you want. It's about not having a game plan. And I thought it was pretty clear to me how that tied in with the whole week's theme. That I mean, really, I am this figure. Just like that was me last week, holding a lot of bags, and the money is just flying out. Woo! I don't know. I think that I'm losing the reins on my financial well-being, and that's making it difficult for me to live the way I want to. And that is also kind of stripping me of my power over my independence in a way. So going back to the Knight of Cups, looking at the whole reading, I realized the only suits present are Pentacles, Swords, and Cups, and that Cups, this is the only card in the Cups suit. The Knight of the last week I got mostly Swords and Cups, and this week I got mostly Swords and Pentacles, and I think that when you do a larger reading like this, and two suits come up together predominantly. You know, there's far more of two suits than the other suits. I think that there's some kind of overall theme given to the reading. I think there's something to sense there in terms of the relationship of those two. And when Pentacles and Swords appear together, I think the themes can be maturity, practicality, organization, business affairs, entrepreneurial endeavors, you know, something that combines our intellectual pursuits and our earthly desires, you know. It would be different if it was, you know, Pentacles and Wands, or if it was Pentacles and Cups, but I feel like Pentacles and Swords really just tell you to kind of get your stuff together and think very practically. Especially for me, I could tell that I needed to think particularly practically this week. So with the Knight of Cups, I realized that while the Knight of Pentacles is me, I think the Knight of Cups is actually also me. And I'll tell you why. Well, first of all, I mean, they're both knights, and if they were completely different court cards, maybe I would be like, I would really think that, but the fact that both knights kind of gives me confidence. The Knight of Cups is smack dab in the middle of this, you know, like, he's caught over there. And I think the Knight of Cups is the me that's kind of got her head in the clouds, wants to think romantically about my finances and about how well my life is going in that direction. I mean, I love this illustration. You know, he's not looking right in front of him. He's kind of distracted. He's looking behind his shoulder. The horse is looking in the other direction. None of them know where they're going. He's just enjoying the ride. He doesn't want to pay attention. And that is totally me in regards to all the stuff that was happening this week. I want to be this passionate, joyful artist who doesn't care about things like rent, but, you know, that isn't practical. And as for my friend's situation, and my lack of knowledge surrounding it, I think the Knight of Cups really wants to be a rescuer. You know, he needs to, you know, know all the details so he can go basically save the day, and I feel that way too. But, you know, that isn't what my friend is asking for, and maybe that's really not what she needs, actually, right now. I think the best thing I can do right now is live in this uncertainty. Ask her what she needs, make sure I'm checking in and paying attention, but realize that, like, I'm not getting an answer anytime soon. Alright, so this has been another week's daily draws. Thanks for watching. If you have your own interpretation of the cards or comments on my interpretations, please let me know. My blog is jjreadstarot.wordpress.com, and once again, this is the Dreaming Way Tarot by Rome Choi. Super cute. Thanks for watching. Bye!